Welcome to the Niche Pursuits Podcast. Are you ready to discover some niche business ideas that actually work? Well, it's time for a motivational kick to jumpstart your next big idea. Here's your host, Spencer Haas.
All right, we're back with Ryan Spadafora. This is Jake Kame doing a niche site project update. It's been several months since Ryan and I have recorded a call, so we were just checking in, making sure that each other was still alive and all of those good things, and it sounds like that we are, so we're back. But today we got some exciting stuff planned, including we're going to reveal Ryan's site and show where he's at and sort of set an action plan going forward. So Ryan, how you been, man?
I'm good, other than the fact that this site reveal is months behind schedule, and the site itself is months behind schedule. And but other than that, I'm alive, breathing air. So
there you go. Cool.
Can't complain, right?
Yeah. No, I'd say, obviously we've got 3 people doing the niche site project. I would say, if we're honest with ourselves, that we're probably in last place as far as where we go now. But as the old adage goes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So
That's right.
I've had plenty of sites. I say plenty. I definitely have examples a couple of times where sites that I kind of had laying around for a long time and then sort of got motivated and picked it up and turned out to be a really good thing. So definitely it's something where I know, and we'll get into it a little bit, I know you're not where you want to be. That definitely doesn't mean that you can't get there by any means. To me, on the bright side, it just means that at this point, you've probably moved out of the so-called Google sandbox and you're ready to start ranking for some things and start getting some more traffic. And so we'll talk a little bit about that today. But yeah, that said, last time you guys did an update, I know you showed some traffic numbers. Not a whole lot had changed. You're not getting much traffic to the site, not really seeing any earnings at this point, which, is okay. And then I was joking with you a little bit before we started recording the call about some of the niche pursuits community was taking you to task. And I was asking you, hey, did you even read those comments? What were you saying to me on that?
I didn't, because I had a feeling that those types of comments were in there, and I'm hard enough on myself, which I think is part of the problem, that I just didn't even want to go there. So I appreciate everybody who's given me a hard time in the comments that I haven't read. I'm sure they're not wrong.
It's been a mix where and I read some of it after it had been up for a couple of days, and I haven't gone back, so there might be more goodies in there now. But just probably half the people, and we've had a lot of people all along that say, because you've shared some of the struggles that you've had as far as finding the time and just different stuff, family stuff going on. You've had stuff going on with your job where you're working overtime and things like that. And so there's a good amount of people that talk about, hey, this is really cool to see Ryan doing this and hearing him share, because I've been in the same boat. So there's a lot of that. It's cool to see that in this internet marketing world, not everything's always perfect. But then there's the other side where you get to this point and some people are saying, hey, Ryan, it's time to stop making excuses. It's time to start waking up early, going to bed late, whatever. You got to want it. And so, like you said, there's truth there too, but I can definitely relate and know the struggles. So anyway, after we post this, I'll filter the comments and then I'll give you the cliff notes so you don't have to go through and read it. But I totally get it, man. I'm the same way. Like when I publish some stuff on niche pursuits now as helping Spencer out there, and it's tough, when you you put yourself out there publicly, I guess, to everybody's gonna have their thoughts and stuff like that, and it's kind of a weird position to see yourself publicly scrutinized. You're not used to that, right? Like if you go to work at your print shop, you're not used to people like, hey, man, stop being late for work. So it's a bit of a
from the pressure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different situation.
I'll prove those people wrong.
Yeah, no, you totally can, man. You really can. That's the truth. So, cool. All right. Well, without any further ado, let's go ahead. I'm going to show Ryan's site and reveal the site, and then we'll talk a little bit about what he's got there now, and we'll take a look behind the scenes a little bit, and then I'm going to give Ryan some tidbits of advice and where to go from here once we take a look at the site. So that said, the site that Ryan has going on here is, let's switch over to Chrome, and Ryan's site is called 5toolschool.com. And Ryan, why don't you, in the land of baseball, for those that are listening, and I'm going to say it's 75 to 80% of the people listening to this, what in the world does 5 Tool School mean as it relates to baseball?
Okay. The 5 tools in baseball are like the 5 major sort of levels of, or ways they sort of judge the talent of a player. So there's speed, there's fielding, there's arm strength, and there's hitting for average and hitting for power. And when a player has all 5 of those tools, they call them a 5-tool player. And those are like the best players, have all 5 tools.
And who's your favorite 5-tool player of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a really tough question. Right now, my favorite 5-tool player is probably Mookie Betts.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like kind of a little guy, but he still hits for power and average and does all that stuff.
Nice.
Mike Trout obviously is like a huge kind of 5-tool guy. Willie Mays, like the back in the day guys.
Oh yeah,
and,
Willie. Nice.
Some of those guys.
All right,
Yeah.
So 5-tool school. So Ryan, just to kind of remind everybody, it's been a while, and if you've hung with us through all the calls that we've done, you may remember some of this when we talked about, up to this point, we've talked about sort of where Ryan was headed with the site and the thought process behind it. So today's the first time we're actually revealing the domain that you guys can check out. But yeah, I mean, generally for Ryan, the goal of the site is talking to people about being a better baseball player. So improving the 5 sort of major skills of baseball, and Ryan sharing some of his knowledge that he has there. That's part of it. And then also, different drills and stuff, which will be useful for people that coach baseball and how to work out and get fit for baseball. That's kind of part of it. You can see some of that in the navigation, and then also reviewing different gear. So that could be training aids, bats, tees, you name it, anything that would, different types of cleats and stuff like that. And that's part of the monetization side of where Ryan's going to head with this, is reviewing different products that he's used personally, and then also doing some more buying guides where he's comparing, the best glove or whatever for a particular position or something like that. That's a lot of what we're doing is from the affiliate side of things. And that's kind of where Ryan's headed with the site. So I believe, Ryan, you designed your own logo and stuff, right? Isn't that correct?
I did, yeah. Yep, I saved some money there and kind of put that logo together and
Yep.
Yeah.
So at this point, using a Thrive theme and pretty simple, just at least for now, just kind of showing the most recent stuff that you've published on the blog. You probably have, it's a pretty small site. What do you have? Maybe a dozen, 15 posts on the site? Is that?
I think I've only got 10 right
10?
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
10. So we had talked about revealing the site after 20. We made an exception.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ryan's been like the tortoise and the hare race here as far as getting.
That's right. Who wins? Who wins?
So we're just revealing this. So when you go check out this site, it's at this point, it's definitely a work in progress. But what I want to do now is just show a couple of the things that Ryan has up and give my thoughts about it. One of these posts that Ryan has is for, finding the best youth baseball bat under $100. And obviously this is going after a particular keyword. I pulled up an SEMrush just to look at Ryan's site. He's not getting much organic traffic right now. One of the first keywords you can see for best youth baseball bats, which gets about 1,600 searches a month. Ryan's currently, I guess that would be page 4, position 38 there. So he's moving up the ranks a little bit. And some of these other things where he's, 4 or 5 pages into the results. And ultimately what's going to happen is as Ryan continues to add content, he's going to gradually move up the rankings for this stuff because we did come up with a really solid list of low competition keywords to start this out. And at this point, it's sort of on Ryan's to-do list, making the time to do it. He's creating the content himself. He's not outsourcing anything at this point. So as he starts knocking those out, he's just going to start moving up and ranking for more and more stuff. I've seen it happen time and time again. So let's take a look at this post real quick. So Ryan's got, kind of a chart up here with links to Amazon affiliate links. And then he goes down and he talks about some tips for buying a bat for a kid, and then, 1-piece versus 2-piece, and really does an excellent job. There's over 2,000 words on this post. And then he talks about different features and things of specific bats that are kind of in the list and, why they're something you could consider and all of that. So this is really this really is a legit, good, well-written guide here. So good job on that. And I truly do believe that it's something that you'll get there as far as the ranking. And you're seeing that already, even with a site that's so small and with very few links pointing to it. And so you'll get there. One thing I was going to tell you that I noticed on this is there's a couple of times. So some of this stuff came to me more recently. Like I wouldn't even have really thought to tell you this early on. It's not a huge deal. But like when you're linking to Amazon, first of all, we want to make sure, like when we're doing affiliate links, Yeah, you've got the affiliate disclosure down in the footer of every one of your pages, which is good. Then from there, I was reading some stuff more recently where, Amazon, just to be in, sort of in good standing with their terms of service, you just want to make sure that any links that you do, it's the product name or it's something where it's sort of obvious that they're going to, view the product basically. And so there was one link I saw like this, this current prices on Amazon here. Like that's perfectly fine. That's great. This one up here, the text money they're asking, and that goes to Amazon. My understanding is that stuff like that, because it's not obvious that when you click on the words money they're asking, that would be going to Amazon, that Amazon doesn't want that to be the hyperlink. So something like that, I would just take it out and kind of make sure that all of your links are the ones that are in the charts. And, the stuff like you had down there, click here to go see the bat on Amazon or something like that, just to make sure that you're totally kind of white hat with that stuff.
Are those links okay? Like just the product name, like where it says top youth bats on that chart?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Totally
That's
fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I actually shared, I did a post on Niche Pursuits. I think it was, or maybe I just updated a post about the best ways to make money from an Amazon affiliate site. And I think we had like a list of 16 things. And in there I had linked, I forget the lady's name, but anyway, she had posted this conversation she had with Amazon support about these very issues and gave like really specific examples like, well, can I do this? Can I do that? And it was sort of a yes, no thing. And so that was one of the things that they asked, and they said, yeah, like you can totally do that. And they gave some examples. So maybe something to refer back to, but at this point, like I said, I mean, you just kind of do the obvious, and it's not really a huge deal. It's just something that it's not like you're a big site and sending a ton of traffic to Amazon where you would be on their radar at all. I just wanted to point that out just as you're going forward and kind of cleaning up a couple of the affiliate articles you do have. Just that way you're kind of doing it right from the beginning, and you never have to get in a situation where you got to go back and update a bunch of crap, and it would be, time consuming and horrible. So
gotcha.
But on the SEO side of things, I just wanted to show everybody, this is sort of the WordPress side of this particular article. And so the title for WordPress is just what you see there. The link is fine. Best youth baseball bat under 100 is good. It could also, maybe could have just been best youth baseball bat. I don't know, but it's fine as is. And then down where you've got the SEO Yoast plugin here. So Ryan did fill in the meta description, and he has best youth baseball bat under $100 in there, which is good. And it's a pretty compelling description here. So good job on that. I would take your title, and rather than just using the fill-in stuff there, like I would paste that in. And then you can see by the orange line that by itself it'll work, but ideally you want these to get into the green, which means that you've used up almost all the space that you can. So I would add something to this, and maybe even in your title, go back and adjust it just to make it a little bit more compelling from a click-through standpoint. So that way, when people are seeing this in the Google results, rather than just saying the best youth bat under $100, add a little bit more pizzazz to that. And I can't really do this off the top of my head, but you know what I'm saying? Like the top 5 picks for any budget or something like that, something that's going to make somebody a little bit intrigued by what you're saying. So I would go back and hit that up, and then take a look at your other stuff you published as well, and just kind of make sure that in both cases, the SEO title and the meta description, very important to use your primary keyword and to make it something that's going to make people want to click on it, because that's becoming more and more important. That's how Google sort of, when you're on a page, whether it's page 3, page 4, page 1, Google is seeing what people are clicking on. And that's part of how they understand what people want when they search a given phrase. So when people search best youth baseball bat, and they get down right now to page 3 or 4, and yours is the one they're clicking on compared to the other 8 or 9 results on the page, that's a good sign to them. So that's a signal to them that let's move this guy up because people are liking this, so you're always sort of competing against the people that you're right next to. And this is your opportunity to grab somebody's attention. Make sense?
It does. Yes.
Cool. Other than that, 2 other things that I would suggest to you to do. And I'm showing some of the posts that you've got here, which is fine. And you've got a list of keywords that you came up with that we did early on that you've still got to go through. So even though I'm giving away a couple of the things you're trying to rank for here, it's not like we're unveiling the secret sauce to the Big Mac or something like that. But this article you did was more of a curated article where you put together some baseball throwing drills, some from your experience, some that you found across the web, and embedded some videos and things like that from YouTube, which is great. The only thing I was going to say, you've got more of these yet to come, where you have lists of different exercises and things like that are baseball specific. And so I know we had talked about this. I don't know if you actually did it or not, but my thing is that when you publish these, I would make sure that you go to whoever did the video originally, or really any source that you list in this article. And you do a good job with linking out to all these different places and relevant sites and stuff like that. I think it's awesome. When you do that, just right after you publish it, just have a little list in a Google Doc or whatever of everybody that you link to, find their contact page, find their email, send them a quick message and just say, hey man, just want to let you know, I just put together this list of 8 of the best baseball throwing drills or whatever it is, included your tip about XYZ. Thanks. Just something like that. Not asking them for a link or anything like that. But I've done that with different sites, and typically people respond really well to that. Sometimes it's just, oh, hey, thanks for including us. But sometimes, oh, cool, I shared this on our Facebook page. You get that a lot as well. Or, and if you get really lucky, they'll link to it on their site. So anyway, just make sure that you're doing that as a practice as you publish these. And that's going to be a nice sort of ongoing way to get some shares, hopefully get some links and things like that pointing to your sites and get some more eyeballs on your content.
Right.
But, good job as far as the writing and stuff. I mean, that's the thing, like the stuff that I've read that you write, I mean, you do a great job with it, which is why I wasn't just saying that. Like, I'm still very confident that, if you put in the time and effort and the sweat that you need, like you can absolutely make this work. Like, I mean, you're an excellent writer. The topic very well. So all those components are there. It's just a matter of doing it. And you've got the keyword list. So really it's just a matter of doing it. I mean, you've even got the strategy behind it. So definitely don't give up. Don't get discouraged by the fact that you haven't seen results yet.
No, I'm not discouraged by that. I'm discouraged by my lack of accomplishment,
lack of progress. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah, progress, yeah.
But yeah, sure. I mean, it's just I want to make the clear distinction, I guess, for you, and hopefully it's it's not that hey, we did everything that we talked about through all these coaching calls and it hasn't worked. Really, just to be honest, I mean, you've probably done 10% of it. You know what I mean? You're just not there yet. So once you get there, like nothing's changed really. Like it's still going to work. You still got the skills to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. So you'll get there. You'll get there. Other thing I was going to say, more of just, and this is just my opinion on this, because the one thing that we've talked about over and over again is you're strapped for time. You're squeezing in here and there where you can, as far as the content that you're doing, and you've added some stuff that's, for instance, doing tee work the Curtis Granderson way. We all love Curtis Granderson because he hits left-handed like me. Good guy. But anyway, you share some of your personal experiences here, some of the key takeaways, and this is kind of an embed and react post where you embedded a YouTube video and then added to it, which is great. Like this is good stuff. To me, as far as on the priority list, I think this kind of stuff, like I would save it for later, like, because nobody's really searching, about doing tee work like Curtis Granderson. Like it's helpful content and it's good, but this is better content to do a little bit further down the road once you have some built-in readership. You know what I mean? And once you've hopefully got a little bit of an email list, you can say, hey guys, just put out this new post about, doing your tee work like Curtis Granderson. Then you've kind of got somebody to resonate with. This isn't something where, to me, if you're sort of in the dark with no audience, very little traffic, it's not something that's going to just help somebody find you. So it doesn't make it bad content. It's just a shift in priority. So what I would say to you is for moving forward is go to that Google Doc that we had going of all of the keywords that you're going to do that are low competition. Sort that by maybe not just hard line by the competitiveness score number, but I would tend to start with the lower competition stuff, and then the combination of low competition and higher volume keywords ideally, and start knocking stuff out in that order. And this kind of stuff here has its place. It just has its place later. And so make sure that you're sort of doing the stuff that we feel like is going to be the easiest to rank for, the highest impact kind of stuff early, since you have a limited amount of time. Do that now. This sort of stuff, when you get the ideas, put it somewhere, maybe put in that same Google Doc of content to do in the future, because not everything has to be focused on a keyword and trying to rank like this. But early on, and you're still very early on, I think early on, you should spend the limited time you have doing stuff that is very keyword focused, is trying to rank for something very specific. And this is just too general to be doing for where you're at this point in the game. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And when I wrote this, I knew that this was like, I think I can bang this out and get it on the site, like spur of the moment. And it was like, I just wanted to get something. I just want to hit post on something.
Yeah.
To try and like keep myself like rolling.
Yeah, sure.
If that makes sense. But I totally understand. Like when I wrote this, I was like, there were no keywords I was targeting at all.
Right.
Although it is like barely ranking for like T-work or something like that, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean it may get there for some stuff like you said, like T-work or whatever. If that's, and I haven't really looked at that particular keyword, but if that's the case, it might get there. But yeah, I've done the same thing, and I've got the sites that I have that do well. I kind of did the same thing where it was very keyword focused early on, but now that we've got an established amount of traffic and people come to the site and an email list, it's fun to do stuff like this, and it's helpful to do stuff like this. Like, if it ranks for something great, but I'm not really thinking that, I really just want something that I think my audience is going to like, and I can send them a quick email like, hey guys, I think you really like what we got today. Watch Curtis Granderson do, watch how he works off the tee and stuff like that. And I think it's good, but yep, just save it for later. So yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, just as we sort of wind down, like I think from here is, first of all, we talked about your schedule and all like that, and kind of do what you can. I mean, I can't obviously, like I'm not like trying to set your schedule for you or whatever, but you've been at it long enough now to know if it's late at nights or getting up an hour earlier than normal or whatever it is, to kind of work that around family life, figure out some kind of consistent approach where you can put it on a schedule and sort of know this is my time to do this. And you just gotta knock it out. I mean, you got to believe in the process, believe in the system that it'll work. And hopefully that'll help kind of keep you on track. But I think by starting out with the lowest hanging fruit that we've already got on the list and kind of go there, make your outline, start creating the content and just knock it out and keep going. I think you'll get there. And obviously the more time you can put into it, the faster that you'll get there. So that part falls to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I lack a good process, and that makes it really hard to stay focused and like finish an article.
Yeah.
Like I just bounce around so much. I'm researching and writing at the same time.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of like an outline maybe, but not in any sort of real structured way. Yeah. Like I might write out some of the headlines type stuff like beforehand.
Sure.
But I think like that's a big problem for me, and it keeps me from, I don't know, every time I start an article, it's like I'm like, okay, what do I do? I'll just start, Googling around and doing some research and what angle do I want to come at from this, and then okay, now it's time to go to bed. I'll pick this up again tomorrow or whatever. And it just, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have, I don't know, clear defined systems of like this, then this, and this, check it off, let's go. And I'm bad with that stuff, man.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't have a great like winning formula to give you on that in particular. I mean, I just work a little bit more scattered and feel like it works well for me. Like I just kind of sit down and start writing, and then maybe if it is like a list of ideas, like I go find the list of ideas first and then come back and kind of fill in the introduction and then do what I'm going to say about each one and set up my links and all that stuff. But I would say in general, like what's helpful is if you go, starting with the keywords, whatever it is, what I would tell you to do to begin creating that outline and hopefully get you moving along is go look at the first page of Google's results for that now and click through and actually look at some of those articles that are ranking. And it does a couple of things. One, it helps you format. I think like you can basically use what's working for everyone else to kind of format your article. So if you see, well, yeah, okay, it is, everybody's kind of got a list of 25 things and whatever, or if they're all not like that, it's all just written out in a more standard style or whatever that is. You kind of get a feel for what's winning and what people are looking for. You get that, but then you can also get good sources that way, so you can use bits and pieces of, you don't have to necessarily have to read every single word, but if you kind of skim through those, you might get some ideas you're thinking of. You might get some little offshoot stuff that you can add into your article. And so just use whatever it is, Evernote, Google Doc, or just in WordPress, and kind of jot down like high level stuff as you read through 5, 6, 7 results there. Mm-hmm. Add that into, for a lot of this stuff, you're at least going to have some rough ideas in your head just from playing baseball of what you'd like to include. So like when you sort of include those two things, it gives you the shape of, okay, here's what this is going to look like. But then, always being liberal with linking out to your sources as you go. So just kind of paste in those links where you got an idea. That way, when you're writing, it'd be like, and one tip I found on yada yada MLB.com that I thought was really helpful was this, and I really like that because whatever, so it's not like you're going and taking their ideas and obviously copying them, but you can add your own flair to it, kind of disseminate what you've learned, so anyway, maybe give that a shot, as you sort of get into a new topic and see how that goes for you. And just, yeah, man, just whatever you can do to kind of keep your mind focused on the goal, which is just to keep pushing that one forward, and definitely do, try to do one at a time. If you start to get sidetracked and go off on a different, hey, I think this would be a good post or whatever, you just got to block that out and go until you finish that first one and take them one at a time and see where you end up.
Right on.
Cool. Did you have any questions or anything? That's pretty much all I wanted to say and, reveal the site to everybody. So definitely feel free to check it out. And then also, Ryan, obviously he's still working on this. He's got a long way to go with the site. So hopefully you guys can check back and we'll do some occasional updates. But Ryan, did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to bring up before we shut things down?
No, I just got to get refocused and get back in. I come and go with the motivation, and I get really down on myself. Those are not excuses. It's just the way it is. So I'm just got to get there.
Yep. Yep. It's easier once you start seeing a little bit of success, and I know you haven't yet as far as, making that first dollar or whatever it is. I think you start to believe a little bit more because, I know that you do kind of believe in the process and what we're saying, but until you see it work for yourself, it's still like a bit of, I don't know, it's a bit of a mystery, harder to get motivated. But yeah, man, you just gotta push forward. You're this far into it, like you've done a lot of work up to this point, and we've spent a lot of time on calls and all that. So now it's just a matter of making it happen. And like I said before, there's no like time limit in the world of the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you can't really like make October, November like an awesome month and it's not going to matter like that. That's definitely going to matter. Every time is a good time to start. And so now is a great time to get back in there, man. So I definitely just encourage you to stick with it anytime that you can find, try to get organized around it, try to hold yourself, get your wife or whoever that's on board with you to keep you committed and go after it.
All right. I'm doing it.
Cool, man. All right. Well, I'll check in with you every morning at 8 a.m. and just make sure. No, I was kidding. But
you could do that.
No, I got too much I got to motivate myself for. So,
yeah,
but no, man, I definitely am here. Of course, if you have questions or anything, please let me know. And looking forward to watching you succeed. And I really think that you're still going to do it. So, but that'll wrap up our call for now. Thanks for listening. If you have any comments or questions, let us know, and I'll check and try my best to answer those. But until next time, Ryan, it's good talking to you, man. Take care of yourself.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
All right. See ya.